Ain't nobody don't pass me. I'm just so fresh, so clean. Don't you think I'm so sexy? I'm just so fresh, so fresh, so clean, clean, clean. Oh, man, you guys keep sneaking up on the brother, man. Yeah, I know y'all see that. Y'all not here about the haircut. Y'all here for Kev's Weekly Pool. I got you. My bad for holding you up. Just wrapping up some comic books as usual. But all right. I'll let you guys see what today's weekly pool is. Hey everybody, and welcome to Kev's Weekly Pool. Now if you don't mind, I'm going to rant throughout this video. Now as I stated in the remastered Welcome Comic Friends, I stated that comic books come out new every Wednesday. So January through December 365, there's always a new comic book that comes out on Wednesday. So I decided to add this to my channel as new content because I felt as though, why not? Great comic book. And the store I'm at is awesome as well. Now, I want to tell you guys something, and I might add a little bit more into it by the end of this video. I started a new job. I'm in training. So, the current job that I am at now, I'm a school bus driver. So the current job that I'm at now is the summertime, and as I stated, I'm a school bus driver, and it's the summertime, so it's not school bus time. I get paid every other week, and so yeah, as you see, some of these they're open spaces that have comic books, and then there's like a cardboard. It's because I came in on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday. Now, these comic books that are on this rack now are new comic books that came out on Wednesday. It may be because there weren't that many copies of the other comic books where these cardboards are, or sometimes the way he sets his comic book rack up is he leaves a space in between each comic book. Just like, okay, this title normally goes here, but because it didn't come out this week, that's why it's an open spot. So yes, as I was saying, I am starting a new job, and so I wasn't able to get up there on Wednesday, and I'm still getting paid for my current job, and I get paid every other week, which would be a Thursday, and that's why I'm up here recording this to you on a Thursday. Now, what's awesome and great about a comic book store, I'm going to elaborate on this. You go to your comic book store, alright? Go to a comic book store. It doesn't have to be your comic book store, just any comic book store originally. Go in there and say, hey, there's a particular comic book that I want to read, or can you recommend me some comic books? They'll be glad and happy to recommend you some comic books. Now, let's say you found a couple of comic books that you want to read. Cool, awesome. Now you want to start picking these comic books, so you start asking them, when does it come out? When does it come out so I can get the next issue? On and on. So what they'll do is they'll give you a list, which is a comic book pool. I don't know if that's the name, but it's a sheet of paper where you can put your name and all your contact information in case I need to get in contact with you. And there's a list of what you can put on there, just lines, and you put down the comic books that you want for them to pull. You subscribe to their store. So what I normally do is, or in this case, because the location he was originally at, he had moved to another location, which is this big store which you guys see. So when I came to his comic book store, I was on that tail end of him getting ready to move, so he wasn't able to give me the sheet of paper, but he did write down the comic books that I wanted on a piece of paper, and I was like, I don't want him to miss out on any of the comic books that I want. So what I personally did was I made my own comic book list. Now this helps me and him out because I made my copy and I made him a copy. I also dated so that it's new and fresh. I take his copy to him, he sees the comic books that I want. Now there is a DC, and then there's Marvel, and then I also have on there Boom, Valiant, IDW, and Image. Now there are Dark Horse comic books, but I really don't read that much from Dark Horse. There's good comics, but I just don't read them. So on my list, I tell him, this is what I want from DC. This is what I want from Marvel, from Valiant, Image, Boom, yada yada down the line. So he has the list, and every Wednesday he looks at my list and he picks the comic books that's on my list. Now, everybody is not perfect. I'm gonna repeat this. Everybody is not perfect. So what does that mean? That means he might not have pulled the exact issue that you wanted. So you know what the comic book you wanted. You got your list. You got your copy of your own list, and they even sometimes give you the list of the comic books that they have on file. So you look, and you look, and you look. Okay, you missed this comic book. You missed this comic book. Not to rub it in on them or anything like that, but to really much just say this was the comic book that you missed out on, and you were able there. Double check is what I'm mainly trying to say. Just double check your list, and double check the comic books that were pulled that are on your list. You know, look through it like I'm doing right now. I'm looking through all my DC comic books that came out for this week. There might be a comic book that isn't there, and what I do is I look through it. If the comic book that I'm looking for isn't there, I go back to the new rack, and hopefully it's still there. So if you go on a Wednesday, most likely that comic book is still going to be there. So yes, you have your list, check it twice. And that's the best advice I can recommend for you guys, is to double check your list to make sure that you aren't missing your comic books. Now, granted, if you wind up not having a comic book that's on your list and it's not in there, and you go by and you're like, oh man, I missed out on a comic book, you kind of saved a couple of bucks. I mean, you really wish you had that comic book because the storyline could be really awesome, but to not have it, you saved a couple of dollars, which is good. The pricing for Marvel and DC are different, as well as Valiant, Boom, and IDW and Image. DC right now is the cheapest out of all the comic books. I'm telling you, they're $2.99. There's a rare occasion where some of the comic books are $3.99, and then there's really like once in a blue moon or an eclipse, as will be on Monday if you're gonna be looking up to the sky. There is a $4.99, $5.99, but those are rare. Majority of the comic books are $2.99. Marvel and like all the other comic books that I was stating, they're $3.99. And on the off chance of as well, like the eclipse that comes every once in now and then, there are $4.99, $5.99. These are the toys that are in his comic book store. I made a promise to you guys, if you watched the last Kev Weekly pool, that I was going to look at more of the toys that's in the store. He has a lot. We got a lot to cover. But yes, so DC is normally cheaper. Marvel and all the other comic books are just a tad bit more. I mean, they're just $1 a piece, ain't a dollar difference. Unless you live in Delaware, because $2.99 and $3.99 with their state's tax adds on, and if you live in Delaware, it's like, oh, I'm only paying $2 for this book, or $3. I don't know if it's still $2.99 in Delaware and you just pay $3, or you just pay $2. I don't know how Delaware works. I wish I did. I don't shop in Delaware as much as I would like to. But yeah, anyway, so that's how it works in the comic book store. You go in there, you say you want to subscribe, you want this particular comic book, they'll give you a list. If they don't have a list form for you, they'll write it down on a piece of paper, but you know what you want, and you know you don't want to miss out on it. So if you don't mind, just go home and write it out. This way you know the comic books that you want, and you're not going to mess up on the ones that you want to read, the ones that you want to pay for. So why not? Why not type it up, date it, just give it to them. Now I update my list every other month, because there might be new comic books that come out. There might be comic books that ended a story arc or a story series, period. So I don't want him to be like, I was looking for this, but it's not there. So what I do is I update it, I refresh it, I date it, and I'm like, this is the current and new one. Toss the other one out, because I tossed the other one out. So that's just a little bit of some things that I wanted to talk to you guys about going into a comic book store. And this comic book store is Comic Collections out in Bustleton Pike, 83 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, PA. I do not know the zip code, but you can type it in and it will pop up. Second happiest place on earth, as he will state every time you walk in there. Huge store compared to the store he was originally in. I still have yet to show you guys just how much toys are in there, and he always has new things like this new comic box where you can store your comic books in it. And that was the the main frame of the box, and this is the top of the box. Alright, you guys. Oh, hey, what's up, you guys? You stayed to the end? Man, I appreciate it. Just, still wrapping up some of these comic books. I hope you enjoyed this week's pool. A lot of amazing comic books came out this week like it does as usual. Definitely go to your comic book stores and pick up these comic books. I mean, they are great comic book stores. And as I say, usually if you live in the Philadelphia area, please go check out Comic Collections, especially if you live up in the Great Northeast. You can go to 83 Bustleton Pike. That's where he is. Check out amazing comic books and things in there that you might find more amusing. So as I stated in my previous video of Hop In issue 9, there has been a little change to my work schedule. I'm starting a new job, so there's a lot of training. So that means there's most likely will be an update video for you guys. But it means this update will probably just be as good as the last update that I had previously, because, well, that means more different hours, more opportunity to add more content to this video or this channel, and give you guys some good updates and some very cool things. So yeah, just stay in tune, as I always say. Check out your local comic book store for more things to come. As usual, I've been Kev, you've been you. Let's stay in tune. Nick Fury!